Greetings viewers, Hugh here coming to you from my house. Apologies for the lack of uploads from myself and the rest of us recently. We've all just been very busy, especially me, as I have just started university, and of course, you're in university, you don't really have as much time to make videos. But don't worry, we've got some really big projects in the works that we really hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, in this week's video, I thought I'd show off my collection of London Underground maps. All 3 folders worth, although admittedly the black folder and the white folder don't have too many in there, but you know, it's still pretty big. I've been collecting these for about 2.5 years at this point. Basically, I saw videos that people like Jeff had posted showing off like his collection and like other collections, and I was like, I really want to have a collection like that. So I started collecting around then. I've slowed down a bit, but it's still pretty big. In this collection, I think I have all but 3 maps dating back to 1984, plus a very special one that I'll get onto in a second. So, yeah, it's quite big for a collection. If you've been following myself, before I even did videos here, I have actually shown these off before, but since I made that video, it's expanded quite a bit, and there's some really cool stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on to this first folder. Okay, so this is our first folder, which is 1989 to whenever, because I don't know when I'm gonna stop collecting, so it's just basically any maps that are before 1989. And we're actually gonna start with probably the most special map in the collection, and there is a reason why this IKEA shark, it's the only real thing I could find that could obscure it, is here at the moment, because I kind of want to reveal this very slowly. Dun dun dun! Yes, this is a Harry Beck map from, I think, 1935. So it's not an original one, you know, the ones that are very expensive and like the original circuit diagram style tube map. So this is from 1935. I got given this for my 18th birthday. And it has a certificate of authenticity in the back. I can't be bothered to get it out for you because it's very valuable. Also, I should point out, I'm going to be going through these maps quite quickly. Just because there's not too much change in some places, and also I don't want this video to be 35 minutes long. So there's that. Very special. But we'll get into the first map. This is a 1984 map. It's a slightly bigger size map of the time. Again, you can see back then, it was kind of just the tube, although there's some national or BR lines, so the North London line and the Watford DC line are marked, because I think the Bakerloo line had just stopped serving Watford Junction at the time. And you'll see some things that are missing. Also, apologies for the lamp, but that's the best I can do for lighting. So there we go further. There's these very big styles of map you get at this time. So we go further. You can sort of sometimes see the front covers. Apologies about if you can't see the front covers, but you can see them online. Here's this one. They're building the Terminal 4 line, and there's still some other stuff going on. Here, this is when they opened that, so there's a thing on the front that says Heathrow Terminal 4 station opening soon. And also you can see it's just the tube, but also some other national rail lines. You've got the Northern City line and the Waterloo City line, which of course one of them is formerly the tube and one of them is now part of the tube. So we go further. I think this is 1986 we've got here. And yeah, basically just basic evolution through the maps. You can see they're a bit smaller. And yeah, going further, there's a lot of these very minor map changes, and then this next one is a very important one. Not this one, the one afterwards is the very first map with the DLR, and you can actually see the Thameslink core as well on the map, because they had just started construction, I believe. Well, it was being built at the time, but yeah, they've got the Thameslink core on there. That's how simple it was back then. Thinking about how the map looks now, yeah. And there's the DLR, very simple again, but there you go. And then it changes a little bit here, but this is from 1988. Thameslink is fully open with the service to Moorgate. And the DLR, you can see the bank bit they're starting to build. And yeah, it's still going through. This is 1988, and now we go into 1989. Takes a bit of time to get these unfolded. Sorry about the noise. And yeah, this has got like a Guinness World Records thing on there. And then this is the map from late 89. And that's the end of this first folder. There's not actually really much in here. It's just some maps covering a 6-year period. So there's not much here, but anyway, on to the second folder. Okay, so here we are in the second folder, which covers 1990 to 2019. So this is quite substantial, so there's quite a lot in here to get through, so we might as well get started. One thing I forgot to mention about the previous folder is that the tube map was not called the tube map, it was called the journey planner at the time. But this map, the only real major thing of note is that the East London line is now coloured orange, kind of a predecessor to the overground colouring there. And of course there's all these BR lines that are listed. Then we go further, and you can see this is kind of the first tube map that looks a bit like how it is today, this 1991. I don't know how to explain it, but there you go. You can see there's also the North London line again, and all these other BR lines, the Thames and Core, the Waterloo City line, the Northern City line are all there. You see the Beckton line, they're starting to build. We go further. This has actually got a cover that celebrates the centenary. You can't quite see it, but it's celebrating the centenary of the electric tube that was happening that year of the City and South London Railway. And going back through, here's the first map that I am missing. I can't actually remember what this one has on it. I'll try and find a picture of it. It's got some kind of special cover. I think it's like Foster's or something. No, it's not. This is the Foster's one. I get this confused all the time. But yeah, these are largely the same, so that's why I'm going through these relatively quickly. They've actually now built the DLR to bank, and they're rebuilding some of the stations on the DLR, because a lot of people didn't realise the DLR was expanded very quickly, because they realised a lot of people actually used it. So going through, I think this is 92. Yep, this is January 92. So you can see, again, not much changing. They're all relatively the same as we go on. This has got actually a capital FM ad, 95.8. If you were my age and grew up in London, you might remember that capital 95.8 ads. Again, not much different with this one, but this one here, this is November 1993, and this is the first one where they've got the Jubilee Line extension being shown as under construction, which is very cool. And you've got, of course, some important stuff that we're not going to see soon. The Epping to Ongar line, which is, of course, now a heritage railway, and the Aldwych branch, which is now used for filming of an old tube station. And, of course, the Jubilee Line Charing Cross. We'll see that disappear in a minute. So, again, all the same here. And here we are. This is the map from early 1995, when both of those things are absent. And this one's quite iconic with the people looking at the tube map cover. It's very, very cool. Again, not much different. The DLR is now actually a different colour. It used to be more blue. It's now more turquoise. Something to notice. And again, it just kind of shows stuff being closed. So there's like this thing going on at King's Cross. Mornington Crescent was closed for a bit for a rebuild. And again, not much changes. Well, actually, something changes here. So this is the last tube map. Like, they've been basically three pieces of, three folds. Two folds, actually, because there's two bits here, for quite a while. But here, this is November 1995. For 1996, they then add a third fold because they have to incorporate an ad in the front. A lot of people will just collect different variants of tube maps because they have different adverts. Personally, I don't really care about that. I just care about the physical map itself. So there might be like, oh, you don't have this variant from 1997 that had like a different advert. I don't really care. So that's my thing with that. We keep going forward. Again, you can see relatively the same. I'm just skipping through these really quickly because there's not much different between them. This one's interesting because the East London line's closed. I'm assuming because they were building Canada Water Station at the time. So that's why. And here you go. You can see the DLR Lewisham line has been added as an under construction line. So there's that, and then we keep going further and further forward. It makes you appreciate how long it takes to build some lines like the JLE because of how long it's shown as under construction here. I think this is 1998, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, February 1998, this map. Again, not much different. I think we're approaching, yes, so this is the last tube map. This is the last tube map for, oh God, close to 20 years with Thameslink on it. So you can see the Thameslink core. It's only shown between Kentish Town, Elephant and Castle, London Bridge. Because at the time, of course, Thameslink only ran on the Midland and Brighton main lines. So this was the last tube map to ever display the Northern City line. Well, of course, it's on the London Connections map, but it's the last proper normal tube one to display that. Yeah, so this is kind of an end of an era, really. And then you move on. This is early 1999, so you can see the first part of the JLE, the line from Stratford to North Greenwich, has opened. But yeah, again, no British Rail line. I think actually it would have been National Rail at the time, Silverlink. None of them are shown on this map. I think just this map in particular. No, there's another one after this. But yeah, so it's just the Tube and DLR on this one. But then we move on to, this is, I think, mid to late 1999. What date is that? I thought it was June 1999. This is September 99. So they've extended it to Waterloo. They've re-added the North London line back to the map. So they clearly had the intention of this to become a regional metro network at some point. Of course, they were correct. Going forward, this is the first map with the full JLE, and of course DLR's gone to Lewisham by this stage. November 99, and now we enter the new millennium. And I think these are the last couple of maps that were printed under London Regional Transport. This is February 2000. London Regional Transport was the predecessor to TfL. Apologies for the slight bit of shakiness. And then we're moving on. And yep, this is the very first map printed under Transport for London. You can just about read it there, which is very, very cool. And then we go further forward, and another major milestone is about to be hit in the next map. Here, this is, I think this is August 2001. No, it's May 2001, my bad. First tube map with fare zones. So it all gets a bit higgledy-piggledy in some stages. And of course, you've got the now extinct zones A, B, C, and D on the Metropolitan line, which I think are now 7, 8, and 9. And yeah, so this is another major step. I think it was TfL took over and they knew they were going to roll out pay-as-you-go, so they might as well show them on the tube map. Okay, so we've now got two very special maps in 2002. This one is missing. It's the Chinese New Year one, which I don't have. And then we've got the Golden Jubilee map with the golden border. Very, very nice map to have in the collection, so that's very nice. And there's not much, really, with these, so I'm actually going to skip ahead a couple of maps. This is the I believe this might be the first Art on the Underground one, this cover, and then you have this tape by tube one, which I very much like. And then we move forward, we're into 2005. Terminal 4 has been closed due to the Terminal 5 extension necessitating a rebuild, and this is the June 2005 map. That's the month I was born, everybody, so there you go, that map's as old as me. And we're now moving into the last couple of maps with several things. So we've got Shoreditch here, that will be closing down, as will Silvertown and North Woolwich, because the DLR extension is going to be open. So the next couple of maps, so as you can see, the DLR has now been extended. We're into 2006 now. Yep, January 2006. And Shoreditch is gone. That's it. It's closed. And then this map here is the very first tube map with the step-free access symbols. And also, it's a unique map because it's the only one to have this symbol here, access still being constructed, which I think can only be seen at Brixton. But there you go. So pretty significant about that. And then, of course, the North London line stations disappear. And now we're getting into, I think, early 2007. And then this is a pretty... so now the North London line, of course, has been closed at Terminator Stratford now. But this couple of maps... pretty significant because we're into 2007 now, and this next map here is the very first map with the overground on it, basically the Silverlink Metro network, as I explained in that older video. So yeah, you've got the overground. It's just, of course, the Goblin, the West London line, the North London line, and the Watford DC, and it's the only map where the overground and East London line coexist. That's pretty cool. And Terminal 5 is about to be constructed, and of course Wood Lane is being shown on there. Now you can see the East London line is closed, and they started showing it to be extended. Then we keep going forward. We're now into 2008, and this here... oh, actually, I think this map before, a couple of maps before, is the one with the infamous Notting Hill Gate error, which is quite funny. And then we're into 2008, so you get Wood Lane, Terminal 5 and Shepherd's Bush Overground all opening, which is very, very significant. And again... you know, the same stuff, and there's like little small text saying, please go to King's Cross and Pancras for Eurostar, and all that. So we'll keep moving forward. You can see a lot, there's not much change here because they're doing the overground and all that. And then this map here, 2009, the Woolwich Arsenal extension has been opened, and well, we're about to get to probably the most infamous tube map ever, one of the most infamous. The No River Special. Also the first one to show the East London line as overground, but yeah, no river. Very surprising. And it's the only one, as far as I'm aware, that shows Edgware Road as a interchange between the Bakerloo line and the subsurface lines. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, very, very infamous map, this one. There's a whole story about Boris Johnson, and he did it as a, I don't know, I won't explain it for time's sake, because I don't want this video to be too long. It probably is way too long now, to be fair. So we'll keep skipping through. You can see the East London line has now started to be properly built up, so now it's going to Croydon. And yeah, so basic evolution. Of course, Circle Line's now running to Hammersmith, so it's no longer a circle. We're into 2010, and the next year, 2011, is a pretty significant year for two reasons. For two very big reasons. I think they come in the same map. Yes, they do. So here we are. This is a map from August 2011. This is the first map with the yellow, no, not yellow, white accessibility blobs that indicate step-free access from street to platform, and of course the DLR Stratford International extension. So yeah, very significant map for a multitude of reasons, of course. Let me keep going further and further. Again, just some really nice art on the underground covers. And the cable car, the infamous Dangleway, is now being shown as under construction. Yep, don't use it, it's not worth it, sorry. And then the next map here, South London line's now been added, and it kind of stays the same for a bit. So the cable car's now on it, but it kind of just stays the same for a couple of years, as you can see, with the exception of course, lines being closed and all that stuff. And then this map here, a lot got added in 2015. You've got the Lee Valley lines became part of the overground, the Emerson Park shuttle became part of the overground, and you've got the first bit of TfL rail, which are the domestic services to Shenfield. So a lot has been added here in 2015. So there you go. And then we move further forward. I believe it was this map that was the inspiration for the chocolate tube map, if I'm not mistaken. If you remember that video from that time, then hats off to you. And then this map here, first map with the trams, and this is when it starts to get a bit cluttered. It's just full of stuff. 2016. This is not the error copy with the Morden error. I don't have that, unfortunately, because it's very expensive. And then, yeah, basically just the same basic map for a bit. But then it changes because the Heathrow Connect services are now shown as part of TfL Rail, and they redesigned Heathrow to look pretty rank, to be honest. And then, again, keeps going as the same. And this is actually the first map here, I believe, with the dotted lines to indicate OSI. I think that they indicate OSIs. I don't know if all of them are OSIs, but like the best example is you can see West Croydon, it's an OSI, and then you've got stuff like Walthamstow and Norfolk Park. They've all got those dotted lines. And we're finally getting near the end of this file. This has taken so long. I've had to do this in 2 takes, and this take's already 6 minutes long, so I'm very sorry about how long this is. But move forward, and then this is a December 2019, and the Elizabeth line, no, TfL Rail has now been extended to Reading. Whew, that was a lot of talking, and I apologise for how long that was, but anyway, we're nearly done. On to the third and final folder. Okay, so starting off the final folder, we have this map from May 2020, middle of lockdown, so not many people were using the underground at the time, but this is kind of an end of an era kind of map, because it's the last time the tube map was sort of readable, at least for me, because we move on to December 2020, and then, oh my goodness gracious me. Yep, this is when the entire Thameslink network was added, and it just got a bit ridiculous. There's a lot on here, and it's cool because it has like a due to coronavirus thing on it, so it's a nice thing to show how old this is, 4 years to be exact, but yeah, it gets a bit crazy from here. So this is December 2020, and then this is September of 21. So you've got the Northern Line extension on there, of course. And going forward, this is January of 2022. So this is actually how many maps there have been released since I started collecting. So this was the map that was going around at the time. It just shows the Northern Line being closed to Bank. And of course, the next one gets even more clustery here. First map with the Elizabeth line, complete with the core section and the Barking Riverside opening soon. And then the next map, of course, it's all been completed. And it still looks rubbish with all the cluttering, doesn't it? And then that's November of 22, then this is May of 23. I think the only difference with this is that some new stations are step-free and all that. And then the final map, oh my god, this has been a long video, and I am really sorry if this has been very waffly for all of you, but this is the final map as of right now, December 2023, which the only major change is the addition of Brent Cross West. Of course, there's going to be a massive change coming to the tube map in the next couple of months. Yeah, that. This is some other stuff in the back. I'm not going to show that stuff because I don't want this video to get any longer. But of course, the next map will have the new overground line colours and the controversial names. We've done a video on that. They did actually make a special map for that, but I couldn't get hold of it because it was only given out as a press event. Anyway, that's a lot of talking, and I'm very sorry if I sounded quite waffly throughout this video. But thank you very much for watching, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.